Hey, how is everybody doing? Welcome to 2025. Hopefully, I am your favorite podcast host talking about dogs because I'm back. Took a little hiatus there, kind of recharge the batteries and do a little family time. But 2025 is going to be fantastic, guys. I am so looking forward to it. I hope you guys have set some goals, personal goals for yourself and for your dog so that you both have a better year this year. Take the stress, take the anxiety away from your dog. You know how? Keep following the podcast and we'll tell you how to be good leaders of your dog to assume that stress and responsibility so the dog doesn't have to. As you all should know, and if you don't know, I am Michael Hoskinson. I am the founder and head trainer at Canine Control Dog Training Program. And you are listening to Canine Convos. As the kids say, share it, click it, like it, whatever you do, pass it along, let everybody know. Because we are back at the VCA hospitals. We're going back at them. We're gonna debunk what you're being told. 2025 is going to be the year of debunking bullshit about dog training. I'm going to come straight to you. I'm going to give you the facts. I'm going to give you the whys. Because if you don't know why, you ain't fixing shit. But I'm going to do that for you, and I'm going to tell you why when you look at social media, when you go online and you Google search problems and you're trying to help and do the best you can for your dog, how all that crap is not helping you. We will debunk all of it. We will make you understand the truth behind dog training and what the industry is trying to do to us. Because it's not at all what you think it is. We would like to think these companies are out there to help us, and I'm telling you, they're leading you guys astray. We talked about it last year a lot. 13,000 dogs at the Dallas Pound every year. That's one city. And I guarantee you 98% of those dogs are euthanized. Every one of those dogs that have been in there, I can promise you 99.9% of them have gone through some sort of R plus FF treat training program, and it has failed them. $23.4 billion a year are spent on treats in North America. If treats actually fix problems, the shelters would be empty. I can promise you that. Lack of a treat has never caused a dog's problem. Don't ever expect a treat to fix a dog's problem. So with that little bit of truth knowledge, let's jump back into my favorite group of people at the VCA. Let's pull up my pick number one because guess who's back, guys? Yes, my group, Deborah and Gary, my friends, and they have brought along with them a special guest for us, Ellen. So what I did this time is one of the big things that we deal with, and we always see, whether it be social media or I see personally, I get 2 or 3 calls every week about this problem. I see it almost every single day I'm out working a dog, and it's dog reactivity. Now, there's a huge difference between reactivity and aggression. There are very few truly aggressive dogs in the world. Most are reactive. And when I say most, I'm talking 95%. So your actual aggression part of it. However, what's funny is our friends at the VCA, they don't even have anything on reactive dogs. So I had to go to aggression, okay? And so what I did is I picked the top, aggression towards unfamiliar dogs, which is pretty much what we see on the day-to-day when we go out and you're walking through the park and your dog is lunging, pulling, barking at another dog. It's actually reactivity most of the time towards that other dog, but this is as close as they're going to give us, okay? Aggression, which again is a serious problem, so it's probably something we need to address. So we're going to give you the nuts and bolts of why they're so full of shit and how we can help you guys have a better walk and a safer walk and have a less stressed dog, low anxiety. I can go for a walk and chill and relax. So with no further ado, let's jump right into this and see what we've got. First up, what their bit of truth and knowledge they are going to drop on us. Let's see what the VCA has to say. Though dogs as a species are considered social, bullshit. Many factors could contribute to a dog's aggression response to an unfamiliar dog. For example, some dogs miss being socialized during the sensitive, this is the most sensitive, was that Cesar Millan? Most sensitive period for socialization, which ends by 14 weeks of age. Without this early comfortable exposure, some dogs develop aggressive behaviors when they encounter new dogs. All right, so let's break it down. We are saying 14 weeks. That's what we've got. Okay, so let's look at this honestly and see where we're at. A dog at 14 weeks, when do you actually get a dog? Well, we don't get the dog till 8 weeks. So that kind of puts us behind the 8 ball right away, right? Because we only have 14 weeks of sensitive time to really make sure that the dog is socialized properly. Well, if we get it at 8 weeks, so let me ask you this: with this vast information coming from my vets and the VCA, are they actually in coordination with the breeders so that the breeders understand this? So they should be socializing those dogs, right? Okay, so we get it at 8 weeks. So 8, 9, 10. Oh my gosh, we only have 6 weeks. So watch the stress they put on. You have 6 weeks to get you and your dog in the world and get it socialized, or you fucked up your dog. It's all on you, human. You better get out there. You got 6 weeks. Well, sometimes we get our dogs early, though, 6 or 7 weeks, so then we got a little extra time, so maybe that'll help. My problem is when are dogs actually fully vaccinated? So when can I actually take a dog off my property and into the real world? Well, generally that's going to be somewhere between, 16 and 18 weeks old. Oh shit, I just missed my window. Because if I can't go out until the dog is 16 to 18 weeks old because I need it to be fully vaccinated, I just missed my 14-week mark. Oh shit, we're done. What are we going to do now? Or are they saying, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, even though your dog's not fully vaccinated, let's go out in public? So I'm confused by the whole thing already because I would assume we shouldn't take our dogs out in public. How do dogs contract most of their disease? Feces or urine of another animal. So what are you always taking them out in public and they're walking around, and especially go to a pet store, enjoy some of that. Every corner's got rusted out end caps because dogs have peed all over them. That's all they do in the store all day long. And your dog's walking across that floor. Or before you go into the store, you set them down so they can go potty because you don't want them to potty in there. And guess what every other dog has done that's walked in there? Pissed or shit in that same spot. So guess whose dog's all over it? But I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. So we've missed the window. What are we going to do? Well, there's some interesting stuff that used to happen back in the day, say 50 years ago. Do you realize you never got a dog before a minimum of 12 weeks? Reputable breeders would hold the dogs for 3 to 4, some even 6 months of age before you even got the dog. Do you realize Czechoslovakian dogs, they're shepherds that they send over here to the police department? I know NYPD, they used to get all of their dogs from Czech. Do you realize that those dogs they didn't import in until they were somewhere between 10 and 14 months old? And those dogs had little to no interaction with other humans, just their litter mates and the people that worked at the breeder. That was it. Do you think those dogs ever had socialization issues? No. Do you think they ever had people issues? No. So socialization, and we will talk about that as we go on, they're feeding you some shit here, okay? So what I want to do is wonder why back in the day they used to hold the dogs a little longer. So let's look at our next pick. This is going to be pick 2A, and let's see what they say about it. While some breeders might have kept puppies closer to 3 months old in the past, very old school way of thinking, the current standard practice among responsible breeders is to let puppies go to new homes around 8 to 12 weeks. Now hold the fuck on. How old is 3 months in weeks? We're already contradicting ourselves. Anyway, this is why you guys just got to stay tuned and use common sense. Which is considered the optimal age for socialization and development. Listen, socialization and development with litter mates and mother. Again, I'm the why guy. Why? Let's look. Benefits of keeping puppies longer. Keeping puppies with their litter mates for a longer period can improve socialization skills and bite inhibition. No shit. So why at any point would I ever take the dog away from mom before 12 weeks? That's almost your 14 week. You've almost let them grow up in a natural setting. You are not a dog. So what you do with a dog is not natural to a dog at all. But when they're with mom and the litter mates, they're learning dog. The other thing that's happening is mom is controlling situations. Mom has rules. She has boundaries. She has, oh God, don't say it, Michael, consequences for bad behaviors. And the dog is learning to accept and take correction from mother, making it more social, setting boundaries on how to act. And what it say? Less inhibition to bite. You know, the number one thing is I go to a house with puppies, what are they all doing? Biting and mouthing, all of them. People, you read and you Google it, and socialization is absolutely, completely screwed up by everybody. Their solution, the VCA, let's take an unvaccinated puppy that just got yanked away from its mom and its litter mates, and let's take him into public. Yeah, that's a great fucking idea, guys. Let's take this little puppy that has no clue of what's going on. You just took it away from mom and dad, and let's take it straight into the world and see how it goes. Now, as you're out there and you're in the park having a great old time, every freaking stupid, untrained, uneducated dog and human are coming up to your dog. Can they be friends? I think mine wants to meet your dog. Let's see if they'll play. So here's this 8-week, 9, 10-week-old puppy. It's been alive 10 weeks, people. And you're trouncing it across the public park, letting it roam all over where all the other dogs pee and shit. So your dog's contracting. Lepto's going crazy in this world right now. That's why they've added it back into your vaccines. And that's going to be contracted from urine from wild animals, possums, skunks, raccoons, squirrels. But let's take our dog out in it. Why not? I mean, shit, we got to get socialized. We only got 14 weeks. Damn all the illness my dog could get. I got to get it socialized. What part of that even sounds remotely intelligent? What a fabulous way to start a relationship with a new member of your family. Let's get our treats out, and let's go to the park and put our dog, our little puppy who is looking for you to take care of it, and let's put another dog on top of it. Let's put another dog sniffing its ass. Let's put some giant man walking up and grabbing it by the head and petting it. All you have done is put your dog in fight or flight. Now your dog has a negative experience. And this is what happens. When I have a negative experience, what does the dog think is going to happen next time it's in that same situation? Now it has history. Now, hopefully it's just a negative experience and not a traumatic experience. But sometimes that's happened. I see it all the time. Oh, I'm sorry. Did my dog, did Fluffy nip your puppy? Well, she's never done that before. Well, that's the first time. You know how many times I've heard that? 1,000,000. But you know what? You will keep taking that dog out there, and it just keeps happening and happening and happening. Do you realize that's called repetition? And pretty soon that's going to be a learned understanding of what going to the park means. And you are giving your dog stress, and you're giving your dog anxiety, and the whole time you're shoving treats or throwing treats on the ground looking like an idiot. I digress. What else do we have? What else of this great information do we have? Okay, sometimes socialization does not go as planned, and a puppy is unexpectedly frightened by another dog. Yeah, it happens all the time. A long-lasting fear of the other dog can result, and this fear can trigger an aggressive response because genetic and early environmental factors contribute to behavior. Here we go. They are so good at this. Denial, denial, denial. Even well-socialized dogs can develop aggression towards other dogs. So why do it? Because it could happen anyway. You got a 50-50, right? So why do it? It's crazy. That's their disclaimer. You can do everything, because we can go to their website and they're going to tell you how to socialize. And then when it doesn't work, they're going to tell you, well, it does happen. Well, no, it's more likely it doesn't happen because you don't know what you're doing. The environmental part of it is a little bit off because that's really, it's kind of how the dog is introduced or put into the environment and those factors and how it's controlled. The end result is what's important. It's not, you have to put dogs in different environments and around different environmental factors as a socialization process. However, each one of those interactions need to end in a positive note, a win for the puppy. The puppy was not run up on by another dog. An adult dog did not get under my dog's butt and lift it off the ground while it's sniffing it. Another dog didn't jump on it. Those are negative ways that things happen. And those are the things that we have to avoid. But it's crazy, don't worry, get out there and socialize, but, it might not work. It's their go-to, guys. It's their go-to on everything. Dogs can develop aggression. Well, you probably fucked something up socializing it then, and you put your dog in a bad position where it had to make a decision for itself because you weren't in control of the situation. Now you screwed your dog up. Your socialization was done completely wrong if you're having issues in the future. That or your dog suffered traumatic experience by another dog, which now is going to be a trigger, which is going to cause your dog to either want to go kill a dog first or flight from that dog. Fight or flight. That's all you got. Here's the key. If you, the human, have taken the role of leader, like Mama Dog did. You've seen the videos I posted on here, how Mama Dog does her dog. She's not taking it easy on him. But you have to take that position of leader. I don't care if you hate the fucking word alpha. You got to be in charge. You got to be the alpha. And you have not established a relationship with your dog where the dog has confidence that you will protect it. You're forcing your dog to do it for itself. And that's where you screw up. It's 10 weeks old. Don't put it in that position. Socializing is not just taking the dog out there and seeing what happens. That's ridiculous. You have to teach your dog how to behave in social settings. Make sense? The problem is when you take it out in these environments, you don't have control to start with. You must establish the leadership and the control before going to the park. You've got to be able to do it in the house. Then you have to do it up and down the street. Then you have to do it going around the block. It's a slow process, people. It's not something fast. It's bullshit that they tell you you have to get all this socialization done by 14 weeks. Best case scenario, I start with an 8-week-old dog. By the time it's 4.5 months, 18 weeks, okay? And my owners, considering they do their job, no jumping, no barking, no nipping, sit, stay, come, heel, installed. The dog knows all of its basic obedience. And when I say heel, it's not a fucking stiff walk. It's a heel. Loose leash walk, dog's nose behind my toes. And I can do it inside, then I can do it outside, then I can do it down the street, then I can do it around the block. Once that happens, now my dog's fully inoculated, I can take it out in public, and now socialization begins. I do it with every fucking single one of my dogs. Every single one of my clients' dogs. And guess what? I do not have socialization issues with any of them. And I am 4 to 5 weeks past where they say you screwed up and have to get it done. So it's not true. The most sensitive time. Stop. The dog's 14 weeks old. You're good, people. Trust me, you're 100% good. So take a step back, set a foundation, make sure you're in control. The relationship between you and your dog needs to more reflect mama dog puppy, not mommy. Save that for dad. All right, so what other information are they going to drop on us here? We're going to take a look at the next paragraph and see what more knowledge we can learn about aggressive dogs. There are other risk factors, such as repeatedly encountering dogs from behind a barrier. The barrier could be a fence, a window, or even a leash. I like how they're going to give you what a barrier could be. Anyway, after all, your dog is probably not permitted to meet encounter while on a walk. The aggression that develops in this situation is rooted in frustration and can include components of both territorial behavior and reinforcement related to learned behaviors. Okay, So let's look at it. The big one for me is the frustration. The fence can cause a frustration, the window, the leash. All of those mean the dogs can't get to each other. Okay? Common with all of these, when I see any sort of reactivity or aggression, is I will promise you that dog walking down the street is pulling you. It's leading the walk. It is in control. It's on a sniff walk, Michael. It's a dog being a dog. Fuck off. That's why your dog's got problems, is because it's in complete control. It does whatever it wants, whenever it wants. You follow along like a sap, and then your dog has a reactive behavior, and you're completely out of control. You have no ability to stop it or control it. And you allow it to happen each and every time. The dog is forced to worry about a dog barking at it. The dog is forced to control that walk so you don't have to. You are giving your dog anxiety and stress because you won't step up and control the dog. Because you don't want to be mean to Fluffy and make Fluffy walk in a heel. When Fluffy controls the walk, why will Fluffy not control fighting another dog? If Fluffy can walk as fast as she wants, wherever she wants, and you follow, if Fluffy can slow down and you slow down, if Fluffy can stop and you stop, if Fluffy gets to go smell everything that Fluffy wants to, if Fluffy wants to pee on every mailbox that goes by and it's okay, and then you see a dog and the dog is barking at Fluffy and Fluffy says, fuck this, I'm going to bark too, why at that point in time do you think Fluffy's going to listen to you when you say stop? Fluffy has controlled the walk for 25 minutes, and now you, the human, because you're lazy and don't want to do a little work, say, wait, Fluffy. I would like to be in control now, and I would expect you to listen to me and do as I say, please. Think about it, people. It's absolutely ridiculous to give the dog untethered control to do whatever it wants and this freedom to do whatever it wants, and then when something bad happens, expect the dog to listen to you. It's never going to work. Frustration is key. I like how they said frustration. And I would be willing to bet they don't even know what frustration is. So when I did military police dogs, and they still do this, it's still done today. There's a way that they can build the drive. So these dogs are not like dogs in a normal setting, right? They're bred to be work dogs. One of the things work dogs do is they apprehend bad people. Sorry, I'm getting all fired up and dry-mouthed over this. Listen, they will take a puppy, 6, 8, 10 weeks old. Guess what they'll do? They'll tie him out. There's a chain attached to a stake in the ground. And they got this big collar on. And then that dog will come right to the end of it. And they'll get either a toy or like a drag rag. It's like just a rag on a stick. And they'll wave it in front of that dog, and they'll wave it in front of that dog. And that dog is, boom, just going at it, trying to get to it, but it just can't get to it because it's refrained from doing so because of that chain. It's called building frustration. It's increasing drive in the dog. And then when they give the dog the rag, guess what the dog does? It pounces hard and it grabs a hold with a full bite. And that's what they're doing, is building frustration by restraining it by the neck to keep it from getting to what it needs to get to be a dog. Prey drive, grab it, thrash it. What the hell do you think happens with every dog that pulls you down the street? You're building frustration in the dog every single time you take it out because it can't get to what it wants to get to. It's in control. You teach your dog that you're in control, follow me, don't pull me. There will be no frustration in your dog. The frustration goes away. The anxiety, the stress goes away. You know why? Because it's not the dog's problem. It's yours. Reinforcement related to learned behavior. Do you realize that's how dogs learn? I don't know. Repetition. I mean, there's no pack. Dogs are not pack animals anymore. They're social animals. There's no alpha. Blah, blah, blah. This is new science. Dogs have evolved so much in the last 15 years. It's fucking phenomenal. I wish the human was keeping up with them. But here's the deal. Every time Fluffy pulls on that leash, it becomes a learned behavior. The more times, the more learned the behavior. The more learned the behavior, the more reactive it is. It's not even a thought process. The dog just reacts and does that behavior. So if it's a negative behavior, but the dog returns to it over and over, you're reinforcing it because there's not a variation at the end. Nothing has changed. So you're reinforcing that bad behavior every single time you take it for a walk, every single time you let Fluffy pull, every single time you let Fluffy bark, every single time you let Fluffy lunge. If you don't fix or stop that, it becomes just a normal everyday behavior that's the norm. You've got to break that cycle. And guess what? You're not going to break that cycle with a treat. So every time the dog pulls on the leash, every time it barks, every fearful moment, every negative interaction is a negative rep. Just like when you do the sit, every time you get the dog to sit, it's a positive. Praise for doing it. Praise for doing it. Pretty soon you say sit. Guess what the dog does? It sits. It's like, I got it. So repetition works both ways. It works to reinforce good behaviors, and it also works to reinforce bad behaviors in the dog's brain. Every single bad repetition you do with your dog, every single time, I don't care what it is, the barking, the lunging, the rushing the door, the more times it happens, the closer that dog is getting to that being the normal behavior that it will return to each and every time it's put in that environment. You must end the bad behavior, and the only way you're going to do that is to let the dog understand what it's doing is wrong, and the only way a dog lets another dog know what it's doing is wrong is they correct the other dog. They don't throw a piece of chicken at it. There will be correction for screwing up, and the dog goes, man, if I do that happens, I'm pretty much done, I think. So we have to change the end result to a positive behavior through correction, not redirection, through correction. Let the dog know what it's doing is wrong. And when it changes behavior, positive reward. Now I reinforce with positive reward. Can I do it with food? Yes. Can I do it with a toy? Yes. Can I do it with a ball? Yes. Can I do it with my verbal, physical praise and love? Yes. But until you do that and correct the dog, it's not going to change behavior. But I'm sure there's more they're going to tell us about aggression and how to fix it and what it is. So let's move on and see what else we've got here. So here we go. Some more information. Let's see what they have to say. Perhaps your dog does not bark or lunge at most dogs and begins to interact in a friendly manner, playing nicely for a while before showing an aggressive response, such as snarling, barking, or snapping. Aggression during an interaction can be more complicated, as there may be many possible reasons for the behavior. One consideration is that your dog could be experiencing pain. Have your veterinarian do a thorough examination. Okay, here we go. So what they want to do is they want to go immediately to your dog could be experiencing pain. Here's the problem. That is like the last thing I ever look at. All right? Do you not spend hours and hours with your dog? Do you not spend an absorbent amount of time with your dog? Do you not play ball with your dog? Do you not let your dog go outside to go potty? Do you not stand at the back door and watch it and make sure everything's okay? Do you not sit on the floor and interact and play with your dog? Do you not take your dog for walks? Do you not do training with your dogs? All of these things are stuff that you would look at your dog and say, oh my gosh, I think Fluffy has a limp. I think something's right. Her gait is different. That's not quite right. What is going on? And at that point, your brain would say, maybe I need to take Fluffy to the vet. I mean, it's common sense, guys. Think about it. You know your dog. you would see signs of pain in your dog. 99.9% of people overreact with a hangnail on the dog and have it at the vet. But they're going to tell you, don't, it's not about what you see. If there are many possibilities, but Ellen, Gary, and Deborah want to lead with pain. That would make me tend to assume, now that might make an ass out of you and me, Gary, but listen, if you're going to lead with that, that's telling me that's probably the biggest answer, the biggest reason as to why. Because otherwise it wouldn't be listed as number one, would it? Or is it the vet's going to do an examination on your dog and tell you it's fine and get their money? Because if it's not the most logical thing that's happening, either you don't know what the fuck the logical thing is that's happening and why it's going on, or it's a simple money grab. I legit go to pain as a last resort. Almost unequivocally. Health of dog is 99% of the time is not the issue. It's a poor behaved dog with no training because it has no leadership from its human. But that's okay. I'm sure out of all of these reasons dogs have aggression, that we're going to learn some more things. So first and foremost, remember, your dog's probably in pain because you're too big of an idiot to know, so take it for a full examination. But what else do our VCA friends have to tell us? So here's going to be our second reason why. This is what they say. A second possibility is that the dog that trigger your dog to respond aggressively have a different communication cycle. Listen, open your ears, has a different communication cycle. All breeds do not speak the same language. Some use more signals than others. If you look closely, you may discover that your dog tried to communicate that he was ready to take a break and back off in a subtle manner, but the other dog did not respond. Dogs may use signs such as leaning away, stepping away, lowering their body, or looking away to try to end interactions. When those signs are ineffective, dogs learn to skip them altogether and instead reach for stronger signals such as barking, growling, and snapping. It is best to consult a behavioralist to help you with the assessment. Your dog exhibit more than one reason. All right, guys. Here we freaking go. I'm going to need a stronger drink. Ellen, Deborah, Gary, are you fucking telling me that dogs don't speak the same language? Did you just tell me that? Do you want me to sit here and really believe that dogs have different communication cycles and they can't fucking talk to each other? Which letter following your name does this come under? Because this is the most absolute asinine thing I've ever heard in my life. You know how stupid it is? It's like saying that my German Shepherd, I can't teach him in English because he only knows German. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? So let me ask you this. Let's say I have 10 groups I have a doodle and a pit bull. I have 10 different groups of doodle and pit bull. And they go out in the backyard and they play. Group 1 is fine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they're all fine. And then on group 10, they go out and they get in a fight. Did all of a sudden one of those dogs not be able to talk to the other one? Do you realize there is no possible way that is even intelligent to say. And it's breed specific now. So what? Malteses can't communicate, so they're going to get attacked more? That's not how that works in the real world, guys. You need to legit go back and look at your own stuff and think about what you're trying to tell people. because it's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. A certain breed of dog can't communicate as well as another dog. Well, that would mean that breed of dog gets in more fights than any other dog or has more aggression issues because it's not a good communicator. But that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard too, because it's a dog. They all talk the same. It's impossible. It doesn't even make sense. You're not even being logical with that sentence. If your dog is getting in a fight with another dog or is aggressive to another dog, it's because you fucked up your socialization. You didn't do it right. It's not because they can't talk to each other. Never in my life. Look, when you're putting dogs together, the conflict becomes not if they can talk to each other or not. It comes down to who's going to be in control and if one dog's going to submit and let the other one be in charge. That's what play does. That's all it does. Dogs don't play to have fun. Do you think animals do anything that's not vital to their survival and how they interact amongst each other? Sorry, guys, but the picture of the fucking dog sitting around playing poker is not real. They don't really do that. When you're socializing, understand this. If I don't know you and your dog, you ain't meeting my dog. If the other dog isn't trained, you ain't meeting my dog. If your dog is overstimulated and acting a jerk, you ain't getting close to my dog. If my dog is naturally a timid or shy dog and yours is more assertive and firm with its play, guess what? They ain't fucking meeting. Because you know what's going to happen? You're going to get them in a fight. And when that happens, we got problems. And it's not because they couldn't talk to each other. My last group class had 48 dogs in it. I can take any 2 dogs, and I can take a aggressive dog and let it play with another one of my clients' dogs, turn them loose and go, let them go kind of mingle around and be around each other, and I guarantee you there's no fight. You know how I know? Because I've had them do it before. I've seen it before. My clients are capable of doing that. Now, does my aggressive dog have a muzzle on it? Yeah, just in case. But how do I test boundaries unless I put them out there and try it? Here's the key. Both dogs are not in control. The humans are. So when the play gets too rough, it goes on too long, or one dog is taking advantage of the other dog, we're able to correct and stop it before it proceeds into a fight. That's the key. Humans, that's you guys. What you do is you take the advice of Google. You listen to Ellen with all her letters, Deborah, Gary. You listen to the FF trainers. You listen to the R plus trainers. And you go out there and you try. And the problem is listening to them is what's causing all of this shit to happen. You're putting all the stress on your dogs by letting it do what it wants. You're giving it anxiety by thinking it has to protect itself. If it was so successful, I wouldn't get calls every day. Because I'm more expensive than an FF trainer ever thought about being. So what's their solution? Consult a behavioral specialist. Really? A behavioral specialist? Let look at it this way. If you have to spend money on a behavioral specialist or a dog trainer, which one do you think's going to try to be more expensive? The behavioral specialist. Do you know why? Because they had to get a certification to be a behavioral specialist. Where do most of them get their certifications from? Google. Not from doing anything, but they get a certificate, which makes them an authority over a person who has been on the civilian side of dog training since 2005. 20 years. Working with dogs every single day of my fucking life because I love it. But your certificate is going to trump my experience and what I see every day. So see, you got to have the letters after your name. You got to have the certificates, because that is how we keep the circle tight between our vets and our behavioral specialists. We keep them all in the loop. The problem is, do you know who is responsible for putting all these dogs on all these freaking tranquilizers and anti-anxiety medications? My FF trainers, because their shit doesn't work, so it's the dog's fault, so let's put him on some medication. And then the vet goes, well, of course, I mean, since you tried training with them and it didn't work, it's obviously something we have to help with the dog, so let's give it some medication. The circle of money grab is all that it is. They're not going to tell you. Do you know how many times I'm the third and fourth trainer? Oh, I can't wait to have the story on of the dog. I am the fourth trainer. They got money, don't get me wrong, but I am the fourth trainer. I got more done with their dog in 20 minutes than the other three trainers did in the entire time they used. The dog's three, been through 3 trainers and 3 trainer programs. They're like, holy shit, Michael, don't worry. I'll put it up on my Facebook page, their testimonial. And they were like, we did more in 20 minutes with our dog than we've ever been able to do with all the other trainers in the past. And they used all the stupid stuff. But we learned about quadrants of our dog. I don't give a fuck about a dog's quadrant. Is it a good behavior or bad behavior? Let's fix it. Moving on. But again, in our infinite wisdom, your dog may exhibit aggression for more than one reason. Remember, many reasons. Really? Because you gave us 2. It's either pain, go to the vet and spend your money, or your dog doesn't speak the right language as other dogs, so definitely probably need to go see a behavioral specialist. Let's just think back a little bit. The very first sentence of the first paragraph of the first page of this publication said, many factors could contribute to a dog's aggressive response. Maybe with all this newfound science, maybe many doesn't mean what I think it means. Maybe it's changed. I should look at it. I should get Webster out and see. You didn't give me 13 reasons. You didn't give me 10. You didn't give me 5. You gave me 2. So 2 is many. You gave me 2. Because between the 3 people and the 31 letters behind your name, this is the truth of it. You have no fucking clue. I'll fly you in. I'll fly all 3 of you in. You can sit around my little table and we'll discuss it. But you don't have a clue as to what's going on. 0. Welcome to the game, Ellen. Yay. Come on down. You're the next contestant on K9 Controls. You're full of shit. Guess what, Ellen? I don't care how many studies you read in school. Deborah, darling. I don't care how many behavioral classes you took in college. Big G, Gary. I don't care about your letters. I don't care about your degrees. You have no world knowledge, any of you, of what's going on. How many? Combined, the 3 of you, how many aggressive or reactive dogs have you trained? Not how many rooms have you been in where the dog is reacting in your little clinic and you're trying to give it a shot. No. How many dogs have you taken from start to finish and fixed reactivity or aggression? How many? Because, see, your 30-minute little thing in your vet office does not give you the authority to tell me how to fix an aggressive or reactive dog. It does not. You reading a study, you should be more informed as to real world than what that piece of paper says. I can do a study today. Don't you want me to believe every study out there, I don't care if it's peer-reviewed or not, is not skewed in one fashion or another? Oh, it's a blind one, Mike. I don't give a shit. I guarantee I can skew information. My wife is an accountant by nature. She can make you look fucking rich or she can make you look fucking poor with the same numbers. It's all how we put that information together and put it out there. It happens every single day on social media. It happens every single day in the mainstream media. It depends on how you want to put that information out there. But because here's the deal, you want to sit down and talk? Let's sit down and talk. Because you're going to have to pull out a sheet of paper. Well, this study says, Michael, according to this study, what do you know about it? You couldn't fix a dog if you tried. I'm assuming since you're vets, most vets that I know have dogs. Have you even taught a dog? If I come to your house, Big G, and I ring that doorbell, is your dog going to run to the door and jump on it? Deborah, can you walk your dog down the block and it not pull you? Hey, Ellen, when Grandma and Grandpa come over and see you, can they come in your house without your dog jumping all over them, knocking them down? What is your experience? See, I'm not going to sit back and act like I know what's wrong with the dog. Michael, my dog's doing such and such. I was like, well, it kind of sounds like it might be this or this. The best thing you could do, take it to your vet because that's what they specialize in. I don't know why your dog's doing that. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know what's wrong with him. I didn't take that school. Have no clue. Have no letters behind my name. But you, the veterinarian, cannot sit there with all your fancy letters and your academia and try to tell me that an FF trainer has a better success rate of fixing dogs than I do. You know what's averse? Very aversive? Cutting a dog open, pulling its stomach out, cutting its stomach open, and then removing golf balls out of it and then stitching it all back up and then throwing it under the table and letting it wake up. But you know what? If you don't do it, the dog's going to fucking die, isn't it? So what should we do? How hard of a recovery is it when you have to take a dog, cut it open, rip its insides out, cut it open, and pull stuff out of it so it doesn't die? Is it worth the end result? Is it? Well, you're damn right it is. Is it worth $4,000 for me to fix the ACL on my dog, even though I have to cut it open and put it through all of that rehab and pain and torture? Yeah, it is. But it's pretty aversive, isn't it? So when I sit there and I use a pinch collar, or I forbid, I tell my dog no, but I fix the problem. I don't put a Band-Aid on it. I'm not throwing food across the room. I'm not opening a can of wet food and spooning it out so my fucking dog doesn't look at another dog. I fix it because I tell it no and I correct it because that's how dogs do life. Those letters behind your name do not make you right, and you should not take what limited information you know about dogs and plaster it over the internet like it's fact. Your letters don't make you right. But who am I? Who am I? I'm not even a behavioralist. I call myself a behavioralist. You know why? Because I work on behavioral issues. Marking territory, separation anxiety, sibling rivalry, aggression, reactivity. But did anybody label me that? No. Did I take any fancy classes? No. Have I been doing this for 35 years? Yes. Have I trained under other trainers? Yes. Have I picked up tidbits here and there? Yes. Do I have a lot of practical experience? Remember, see, this is what's funny. You know the way the world's going right now? So fabulous. I even had to talk with my girls about this. You know what big businesses don't really give a fuck about anymore? Your college degree, that diploma. You know what they're looking for? Real world experience and know that you know what the fuck you're doing. Guess what I got a lot of? A lot of that. And I'll put that up against any behavioralist, any FF trainer, any fancy letter behind your name, Gary, any of you, anytime. Come sit down and talk. I promise I won't be aggressive with you. We'll sit down and talk and have an honest discussion. We'll sit down and just talk. You can give your best side. I'll give my best side. We'll go back and forth. I'll shake your hand. I'll take you out to dinner. Shit, I'll fly you in and put you up at a hotel to have the discussion. It'll be fantastic. And we'll do it in a civil discord, I promise. But who am I? What do I know? Wow. I don't know. I don't have any letters behind my name, but I got receipts. You want receipts? 2020. Y'all remember what was going on in 2020? COVID. How'd I do? Trained 230 dogs. That was 212 receipts. That's 212 individual homes that I walked into multiple times and viewed and saw and looked at how dogs interact. And I fixed problems. 212 receipts, somewhere around 230 dogs. So some of those are 2-dog, 3-dog homes. During COVID. 2021. 251 receipts. I was in 251 homes multiple times working on dogs because what I do is lifetime. Unlimited access for the dog's entire life. So that year, 2021, I trained somewhere around 300 dogs. 1 year. You want to talk about a wore-out person? That was 70 hours a week. That was going like 3 months with no days off. Absolutely fucking exhausting. So I jacked my prices up like nobody's business because my wife is like, either you spend more time at home or you go live with your clients. 2022, 222 receipts. That's somewhere around, 260, 280 dogs. 1 year. 1 year. Divide 222 by how many days of the week, work days there are. I'm doing one a day, people. Easy. That's all right. There's more. Missed one. Let me get that one in there for y'all. 2023, big price increase because, again, I was gone a shitload. 189 receipts. Now, keep in mind, 2023 started our little economic downturn too. Remember? Yeah. Things haven't been going so good. Remember price of milk, price of eggs? All the shit skyrocketing, still did 189 receipts, 210, 215 dogs. 2024. How was your 2024? Economically speaking, little pullback from everybody? Yeah, there was, wasn't there? Guess what? It's finally catching up. Oh, wait, it wasn't the economic downturn. Probably what it was is my inability to train dogs caused me probably to train less dogs because I'm a complete moron. So finally, after 20, 21, 22, and 23, people went, this Michael's a fraud. He doesn't know what he's doing. Probably right, because in 2024, only 157 receipts. 180 dogs. The FFers are catching up with me. They're taking my business because I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sure that's what it is. Because see, if FF training was so popular and it was so good and it was worked so well, guess what I would train my methods to? I would change my methods to train with an FF style. If it was superior over what I was doing, I was giving a better product, I would change. If the FF system, the R+, the positive only people, if their system was as good as they say it is, would they not have put me out of business by now? People aren't idiots. That should have put me out of business a long time ago. You know what their excuse? Because remember, there's always a disclaimer. Well, that person probably just wasn't a good FF trainer. Oh, for fuck's sake. Let's keep moving them goalposts. Guess what? 2025. January's a little slow. Trained 17, had 17 new clients, 17 receipts in January. Keep in mind, this is what's crazy too. 157 dogs in 2024. Do you realize I still was more profitable in 2024 than 90% of the CEOs in Dallas? If I sucked and what I did was terrible and abusive to dogs, I wouldn't be doing that on a slow year. 17 dogs in January. I'm already feeling the bump, boys. Y'all heard about the Trump bump? 17. So let's just take 17, do easy math. We'll multiply that times how many months? 12 months. That's I'm already back in the 200s. 204 receipts. I'll train around 230 dogs if I maintain that. I have already had discussions with my business manager about, I think I'm going to have to raise prices because it is opening up like you have never seen. And if I was that bad and I hurt dogs and I made dogs sad and things that I did was just abusive, do you really think I would have clients? Hell no. Everything I did would have something negative out there. The only thing negative is the Karen's looking at a 60-second video and thinking they know everything about a dog and talking about abusive and suppressive and fear. Oh. Yeah, you want to look at the other 1,300 videos I have on my Facebook page with all these dogs beautifully acting? Yeah. And we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about that 60-second video. You see, simply put, in my area, there are like 29, they crop up out of nowhere last 5 years, FF trainers. 29, 30 of them. It's amazing. They weren't here 5 years ago. And guess what? There are still the same 4 people that I have dealt with since 2005, still in business, still doing our same thing. Because, see, we're still legitimate. We're still fixing problems. We're the 3rd and 4th people they try. And we're the ones fixing the problems. You want my receipts? You want to know who I am? I do nothing online. I don't sell one thing online. I don't train dogs online. A lot of these people on social media and stuff, you'll see all their stuff. Buy my this, buy my that, blah, 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 blah. And they do the seminars online and they charge for it. That's great. That's wonderful. Some of them do nothing but board and trade. That's great. That's wonderful. You know what I do? I go into see all that? Each and every one of those homes I've been in. And I see firsthand what it looks like. I see how they interact. I have been in situations where I've trained dogs in kennels and I see how they interact with each other. And I've learned to communicate more effectively like a dog would to a dog. Not how a human communicates to a dog. Do you think dogs know anything but dog? A dog jumps on another dog. It's not being nice, it's being dominant, but it jumps on you, it's telling you it loves you. Shut up. Think about it, people. Dogs only know dog. You only know human, and you put them together, you're getting bad results. And then you Google it with someone who has never trained. I trained more dogs in a year than frickin' Deborah, Greg, and Ellen have even, Gary and Ellen have done in their entire life. But because they have letters behind their name, they're going to fool you into thinking they know better than me. They don't. Real receipts, real life, real world. Not in some classroom. The classroom for me is the world. So we're going to continue to dive into this and see if we can figure out aggression. We'll have some trainers in to talk about aggression and how to fix it. And then at the conclusion, just like we do with separation anxiety, I'm going to come in and tell you the real deal. So listen up, guys. I really do hope that you guys had a fantastic end of last year, beginning of this year. I appreciate you tuning in. Again, my name, Michael Hoskinson, Canine Control Dog Training Program. This is my podcast, Canine Convos. Share it, share it, share it. Get out there, have some fun with your dog, and let's do 2025 like nobody's business. I'll see you next time.